Hello and welcome to episode 9 of Box. It's Craig Central here today. Joining me, Craig McLean. Hello. And Craig Edwards as well. So we're going to be taking a look back at the Mexican Grand Prix. Starting off with qualifying, not much to speak of there, quite a low-key one actually. Some of the main points, Ricardo only qualifying 7th behind Esteban Ocon. Brendan Hartley qualifying a high 13th, not too bad from him. Top 10 for both Renaults and Verstappen looking all day like he was going to get pole position, and then Vettel out of nowhere comes in and snatches pole.
Hartley did well, obviously getting through to Q2, but then obviously he had the breakdown. Neither of us were Van Dorn went out, so yeah, so 13th was good and good for him, though it could have theoretically been better if he'd been able to settle up. Obviously interesting, Hamilton was only 3rd in the grid, however you don't think he was going to take any risks this weekend with a championship sitting there, so it's fair enough. But yeah, Verstappen in the front row, I think that shows signs of the fact that Red Bull have improved, even in one lap pace towards the end of the season.
Yep. Craig Vettel pulling out of nowhere when it was needed.
Yeah, I think that's a sign of quality he's got, you know, and that he can do something like that. But you look at it, Ferrari should have been the quickest. When you look at this track, this was a Ferrari track, so it was more a question that where was the pace for the rest of the weekend? You know, even Raikkonen was only was he
third? What, in qualifying?
qualifying?
I think he was 5th, yeah.
Fifth. Right, so where Ferrari, there's still,
Yeah, 5th.
it should have been their track. It should have been there. They should be ahead of Red Bull, and they managed to sneak it at the end for pole, but still you could argue not really good enough for.
Craig, would you like to describe our viewing of the race?
We went to the pub, basically, so it was quite good.
Was
I
it?
think we're going to maybe make that
Outnumbered by American football.
Yes, unfortunately, which was on the main screen.
That
Ten
one
screen,
brilliant-
no one was watching.
That one brilliant game though, what was it, Buffalo, I think, someone.
Yeah, there was so many touchdowns. Anyway, back to Formula 1. Yes, so we went to the pub and watched it. We're trying to hopefully make that a stable thing. Might do that for Brazil.
Maybe even do some live reactions or something.
Could do live videos of us
See
watching at the pub.
we're trying here.
That's what everyone wants to see.
Yeah, better, exactly.
Um,
On to the race itself, obviously, first main incident, talk about the first corner tangle between Vettel, Hamilton, and Verstappen. Any blame to be apportioned, or was it just a racing incident?
You could say it was a racing incident because it was so early in the race. I think that's fair enough. I think that's why the FIA let it slide. I'd say if it was anyone's fault, you'd probably place it on Vettel because Hamilton was clearly ahead of him. He was right at the edge off the track, Hamilton, so he couldn't have really gone anywhere else.
Yeah.
So Vettel obviously clipping him. Unfortunate. But it didn't work out for either of them. So
I have to remember though, Vettel, if you look, he was sliding. He'd lost
Yeah,
he had damage from the contact with Verstappen. That he was sliding. I don't really know how he could have avoided him.
I think Mexico's going to be one of these sets of corners. Last year, obviously, you had Rosberg and Hamilton just cut it, just clean right over the corner.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be one of these corners that you're going to see a star crash there nearly every year. I think massive straight. Also, it'll start quite far back in the straight as well. So it's a long run down to turn 1. Even though Vettel launched quite well, Verstappen got him because it's pretty difficult to keep your lead. So yeah, I think
There was actually another incident further back, I do believe, but there was no real coverage of that at all between Carlos Sainz and one of the Williams, or I think, but there wasn't much coverage of it at the time. So basically Hamilton got punctured, pitted, Vettel got damage and pitted as well. Hamilton came out stone dead last, and Vettel came out in front of him with Carlos Sainz.
yeah, I do remember
Saga
Sainz at the back.
in
actually,
between
so.
the two. What would have been going through their minds at that point, do you think, for both of them?
Hamilton would have been frustrated, obviously, because he knew that he needed to keep up at the front so he could battle for the championship. But I'm sure as soon as he realised Vettel had the pit to change his front wing, that he'd have a task on his hands really to keep any sort of championship fight going. So
Yeah. And then Hamilton obviously wasn't too bothered about it because he was stuck behind Carlos Sainz for 30 laps. So not great pace from him, or do you think he was just sort of, you know, taking it casually, knew the Vettel wasn't going to cause any real danger?
He lost a bit of the diffuser, didn't he? So,
I still think the Mercedes should in a straight line.
yeah, I think obviously when you say he was stuck behind him for 30 laps, I think the first about 20-ish or so was him catching him. He was solidly about 25, 30 seconds or something like that behind the Renault. So he did still catch him plenty. But obviously, yeah, he lost a lot of time with a puncture, because a puncture is a lot more damaging to your pace when you get back to the pits than a broken front wing.
Yeah. So there was 5 retirements in total between lap 5 and lap 59. We had Daniel Ricciardo, Hartley, Ericsson, and both the Renaults as well. Again, the Renaults, they're running in, I believe it was 3rd and 5th after that first corner, or somewhere around about there, and then they both had to retire. So a missed opportunity again for Renault.
Yeah, Renault engines obviously this weekend were not helping many teams. Verstappen probably quite worried after it seems that the luck has just completely flipped at Red Bull. You know, Ricciardo's had 2 DNFs in a row, so that's sad to see. I think he would have been quite a key player in the race. I think he could have made it a Red Bull 1-2, to be quite honest. Actually, I think he would have been able to beat Bottas. So I think it's quite sad that Ricciardo went out so early on.
Still amazing to see Red Bull only had 6 double finishes this season.
Yeah, that's not a great stat.
Same as McLaren.
They'll be looking at that next season. Obviously, they're focusing on performance for next season, which is fair enough because they're not going to be winning championships this year. Obviously, it's over now. But they've got to be focusing on reliability as well. It's a big issue. You know, as Mr. Walker said, well, even Mr. Walker, I don't even know who it was, but to finish first you have to finish.
Yeah.
Like, so it's true. And that is also the case with Nico Hülkenberg. He's retired 5 of the last 6 races. He's become totally anonymous recently. He's had a good season, Hülkenberg, I think. He's had a few 5th, 6th place finishes. Renault are clearly quicker. Again, reliability is a total issue, and he's had dreadful luck in the last 5 or 6 races. And again, generally, it's not been his fault, it's been breakdowns. It was the same while Palmer was in. He managed to get a good 6th or 7th place finish in Singapore when he did actually finish. But a lot of it with Palmer was bad luck with reliability, so Renault needs to sort it out.
Yeah. So out came the virtual safety car on lap 30 for Brendan Hartley. There's a deluge into the pits, and then Vettel and Hamilton really started making up places. It was just sort of to see how many places Vettel was going to make up, because obviously he had to get up to 2nd at least to keep the championship alive. There's some fantastic overtakes for both of them actually, especially the duel between Hamilton and Alonso was particularly special to watch.
How sad is that though, that it's over 9th and 10th?
Yeah,
between those
2 drivers that really should be battling for 1st and 2nd.
9th and 10th.
Yeah, it's sad to see, obviously. You know, 10 years on from them, I think it's 10 years to the day, and then battling for the championship in Brazil with Raikkonen. Obviously, it wasn't for 1st and 2nd that day either, because Hamilton had an issue and ended up finishing 7th or something like that, I think. So, but it's a shame to see 2 drivers of that calibre battling down there. Obviously, Hamilton's not doing it week in, week out, but Alonso is, and you don't want to see that. I suppose I'm technically taking Adam Todd's place in the corner, so I can have the usual rant about McLaren. At least he managed to get 2 cars over the line, and both of them got a point. But there was a few laps where Alonso was stuck behind Magnussen, and he was quicker, but he couldn't overtake. He couldn't get the speed in the straights. So,
yep. So end of the race, we had Verstappen obviously with the victory, then Bottas, then Raikkonen. Vettel made up to 4th in the end, but still 16 seconds behind his teammate. I don't think they're going to let them switch at that distance.
there was no point as well.
Yeah.
The championship wouldn't.
Hamilton made it up to P9, finishing behind Kevin Magnussen. So Hamilton, world champion for the 4th time, a worthy champion in your eyes?
Begrudgingly, yes, he is definitely a worthy 4th-time champion. You know, you look at it now, between 2007 and 2013, you know, won 1 championship, and you could always say that wasn't the year he deserved it. I think 2008, Massa maybe deserved it. 2007, I think Hamilton deserved it. Being a rookie in the grid and losing out by 1 point was quite painful to see. then he had 4 years of bad luck in the McLaren. 09 they were not quite at all. 2010 they weren't that much better. I think 2011 Button just outperformed them. 2012 again Red Bull were in the area of dominance, so it was hard to topple them over. So I think realistically, he is a great driver. Look at him; he's all-time pole holder. He's going to get so many more. I think he's going to be the driver in a few years' time who's going to have the most poles by a long, long way. That's a record that could stand until we're dead, I think. As for wins, I don't know if he can quite hit Schumacher's. There's a long way to go. He would really need 3 or 4 years of dominance in that Mercedes again.
3, 4 years.
Yeah, I think this is their era starting to fizzle out. They've had 4 years now of being the best team, and I think Red Bull and Ferrari are clearly closer. So next season could be.
Yeah. So Craig, how many can Hamilton get any more championships?
Personally, I don't see it. I think next year, you'll have probably a 4-way fight with the 2 Red Bulls, Vettel and Hamilton, and then maybe Bottas, we'll see. And the way it's going, you don't know if Mercedes can keep ahead. If you look this year, they probably had the best car.
Yeah.
They've probably edged it just over Ferrari, and
the reliability as well,
Yeah.
obviously helping it makes it that much easier.
unreliable. But I just can't see him winning it next year. I think the Vettel, obviously now he's level with him,
Yeah.
that'll have hurt this year, especially because it was all in his grasp, and then in 3 weeks it completely disappears.
I mean, starting next season, he'll be 33. That's for a Formula 1 driver these days, not young. So he's probably in his prime right now. I think he will start to lose the pace soon. Obviously Schumacher was still winning championships. I think when he won his championship in 05, he was 04 even he was 35, but that was his last championship in 35. So
Ferrari that year was
completely totally
dominant.
dominant, and he was with a teammate in Rubens Barrichello who was I think Barrichello was slightly younger than Schumacher, but obviously he still wasn't young. There were 2 older drivers in the grid, so I think I think next season Verstappen could win the championship.
Okay,
If they both play together.
some other things from the top 10. Esteban Ocon finishing in 5th. Fantastic performance from him. His teammate Sergio Perez in 7th as well, so I think that's Force India clinched 4th in the Constructors' Championship. Lance Stroll, he's having not a very good weekend, then finished in 6th, so very well done from him. Kevin Magnussen finishing in 8th. Probably one of his best finishes of the season, if not his best, I would have thought. And then Fernando Alonso rounding off the top 10 with 1 point. Also, I mentioned to Pierre Gasly as well for 13th place. Force India clinching 4th. Craig, how good have they been this season?
They've been good this season, and it's kind of surprising. This is the first time they'll actually finish that high. But I see Force India as a bit of a sort of team like Jordan back in the day. Like we'll see Jordan in '99 managed to finish 3rd in the championship. They had friends battling for the championship for a while, 2 days victories, but that was a peak. After that, it did start to go downhill. I can't see Force India climbing any higher than 4th. They're not going to be able to beat constructors like Ferrari and Mercedes, and Red Bull I think are always going to have that edge in them too. You fear now Renault, with being a constructor, having investment, will eventually overtake them. You think McLaren have better engine in, they've got a better chassis. They've had a better history. They've got more money in the team, so McLaren could be better than them. So you think Force India will start to drop back a little bit next season, but I can't see it being dramatic. I can still see them battling for about 5th in the championship next year. Probably up in 4th, 5th. I think McLaren maybe will slightly edge Renault and Force India next year. Kind of peak of the midfield.
Okay, so it's time for the awards. Quickly, best and worst driver. Craig,
I
starting
would
with you.
probably give best driver. I'd say, obviously mentions for Ocon, mentions for Stroll. Stroll has massively improved this season. He's now ahead of Massa in the championship. That's that's all that needs to be said about that.
Yeah.
Ocon, great consistency, great talent. He'll be there for years. But I'm going to give driver of the day to Kevin Magnussen on the basis that in qualifying, Haas were the last two cars. They were absolutely nowhere in qualifying, slower than Sauber. Look at Grosjean in the race, obviously he had issues, but he finished last out of everyone, way behind. So for Magnussen to finish 8th, that's a fantastic result. If that had been Marcus Ericsson or Pascal Wehrlein up in 8th, people would be raving about it. But I think cause Haas have obviously scored points in previous races.
We were getting a bit nervous when Vettel and Magnussen came together when Vettel was trying to get past them, but
so it was obviously
cool,
quite tight. But no, great race from Magnussen. So yeah, that can be his issue, keeping his cool. But he did this weekend. He got a great 8th place finish, and he deserves to be in that car next year. It'd be good to see him in the sport for a few more years.
Worst driver?
Worst driver, Raikkonen. He was nowhere. Dropped back at the start again. That's happened too often recently. His starts have been below par. He started 5th, which wasn't great. There was a tango, and he was still 7th at the end of lap 1. So realistically, if it had been the tango between Hamilton and Vettel, he would drop back from 5th to 9th, which is not acceptable. 54 seconds behind the lead. He ended up only 16 seconds ahead of Vettel, who obviously had to pit with a broken front wing. So it's not great.
Craig?
I think I'd give it to Stroll. I think, you know, the criticism he's got so far this season has been a bit over the top. I mean, and you never really saw him doing the race. You never saw him making a mistake. He just went along and did his business. Now, in a Williams, a 6th place is a strong result. I can agree with you with Raikkonen for the worst driver. When you look the Ferrari when Vettel's lapping, even though he's pushing, I know he's pushing and that's how he's in the 19s. But Raikkonen's best lap's a low 1 minute 20.
Yeah, it's not
How-
great.
And he's
54
stuck behind Perez.
54 seconds off the lead. You know, obviously Verstappen was quicker.
And he only got by, he was stuck behind Perez and only got by Ocon thanks to the virtual safety car.
Yeah, exactly.
When you look, Vettel drove up and eased by them pretty much. So
Okay. My best driver, I'm going to go for my boy Max. Was ahead after the first corner and never looked back. So in fastest lap, after fastest lap, even when the team told him to slow down, he was still setting the same lap times. As always,
He's got a habit of doing that, Max. Once he gets into the lead, there is absolutely no nonsense. He just drives and wins it.
worst driver, I'm going to go for Romain Grosjean. The Frenchman was nowhere all weekend, nowhere in the race, and he finished stone dead last behind Pascal Wehrlein in his Sauber. Best and worst team, Craig?
Best team, I would give probably give it to, I say Red Bull, but obviously Ricardo has had his retirement. I mean, I'd probably just give it to someone like Force India again. I think they were just solid all weekend. Another 5th and another 7th. That's another 16 points. Easily 4th in the Constructors' Championship. They've just been so consistent all season. So, well done to them. Worst team, Renault. The reliability is not good enough. Sainz obviously has his issue, but for Hulkenberg to have retired 5 of the last 6 races, it's sad to see because he's always qualified high, he's always looking good in the race. He was looking on course for possibly, I think podium would have been a big ask in the end. I think he would have finished about 5th or 6th battling with Ocon and Stroll, but you know, it's a shame to see him retire so many races. So you want them to get that reliability sorted out next season, as well as hopefully a bit more performance.
Craig?
I'd be tempted, I know obviously a retirement and only 14, but Sauber, you know, when you think they've been the weakest teams in every race, and then they beat Haas in qualifying.
They really stepped up their game.
They
And
did
then
have a good
Ericsson,
weekend.
and Ericsson was running in the points. I know he obviously got a bit lucky with the collision, but he was running in the points for a good long time and everything. So.
With a year-old engine, you know, being the same Ferrari engine in the Haas on the straights, like you know, that's commendable.
Worst team?
Worst team, it's just mix up from Craig. I think I'd go Toro Rosso. It's similar to Renault breaking down. The fact only Gasly finished, and it was only 13. And then the fact that Gasly didn't even take part in qualifying, and Hartley broke down in Q2.
I still feel like we've not gotten a true sight of what the two of them are like yet, because they've had quite a few reliability issues. So hopefully, I don't know whether they'll have an upgrade or not, but just improve reliability, proved there.
Let's see
No
what they can
penalties
do
in Brazil and
last
Abu
time,
Dhabi, so we can see, if the two of them will be competitive drivers next season.
Yeah, for me, I hate myself for saying this, but I'm going to go best team as Mercedes. They could have been forgiven for sort of backing off a wee bit, slacking off this weekend because obviously they won the constructors last time round, but they still put in a pretty good performance. Got Bottas on the podium and got Hamilton all the way back up to 9th. My worst team can't really be anyone but Renault. A shocking weekend for them. They had a chance to really grab a lot of points. It would have really helped them in the constructors, but alas, their curse strikes again, and Nico Hülkenberg goes without a podium for the 5 millionth year in a row. Lastly, before we finish, we had this discussion on Sunday night about Daniil Kvyat possibly having deals with Williams. Craig, I know you were talking about that.
I mean, I can't see it happening because Martini won a representative that's over 25 and he's not.
We're saying he'd maybe take a year out and then come back.
It's a
when
possibility.
he's 25.
I think next season is almost now at the stage where I think Stroll doesn't need Massa's guidance. I think he's a good enough driver on his own. So maybe taking a slight risk on someone like Kubica, bringing someone like Kubica back, isn't the worst idea. It's just who else are they going to get? Well, you know, Kvyat. I don't think Kvyat's got the brightest future in F1. He might come back. I'm not sure. Who knows? We'll see. But De Resta realistically is not going to get a drive. So it's going to be Kubica or Verline. I'd like to see Verline get the drive, but
I think that's not going to happen now
It
because
doesn't look
Mercedes
like
said
that.
they weren't going to pay for it.
yeah. So
So,
in my view, Kubica makes the most sense.
Craig, if you had to
Sounds
bet, was that who you would go on?
Yeah, I'd go with Kvyat as well. I've started seeing slight reports as well that Massa's now out of running. They've started, there's some simmerings of that's starting to simmer now, so whether that seems to be that Kvyat is now the chosen one.
It's a shame with Massa. He had such a good retirement last season, you know, with waving goodbye to all the fans. What happened in Brazil when he was out crying and all that, everyone was cheering in the pit lane. That's exactly what he wanted to see. And you almost knew when he came back, you were like, why is he coming back? I don't know why he came back still, to be quite honest, for another year, you know. Money, theoretically, but to go out the way he has, moaning about all the other drivers, you know, kind of saying things about why they shouldn't be signed, it's a shame to see. He's a driver he's an unlucky career, he's gone through a lot, but you don't want it to end in bad-blooded manner because he's always been quite a nice guy. So, CMC.
Yep, so that'll do us for today. Thank you very much to Craig McLean and Craig Edwards as well. Join us next week. We'll have the second coming of the Two Craigs challenge. I'm not going to be drawing again, hopefully, but we'll tune in and we'll find out and see. And then the week after, we'll have our Brazilian Grand Prix preview before the race. So thank you very much for watching, and box on the box.